Hi, Chidozie.
Hi guys, excited to be here today.
So let's dive into it. Today's session is basically we'll be discussing mastering performance marketing.
Right. One thing about performance is measurement, ability to measure your campaigns, to measure your revenue as well, and then also some performance marketers, some people who are performance marketers as well, like really really keen on the bottom of the funnel, event. I mean the top of the funnel event, or you see somebody reporting about campaigns, and they're talking about uh, we had 10,000 clicks. You need to really understand that as a performance marketer, whatever you're doing ties to the overall business goal. If your company is trying to make leads, at the end of the day, it makes sense. If your company is trying to, get leads, if you're running lead campaign or you're running, actual conversion campaigns, optimize that revenue, you should report, the metrics that are really, really important to business. How does your campaign tie to the overall revenue? How much, did your campaign bring in? How much did a particular creative bring in? If you're able to like measure all of those things up, I think going forward your campaigns would obviously be better, and then you're able to optimize better as you go. What I would say, if you can't measure it, don't even try to do anything about it. Like, don't try to start it if you can't measure it. Yeah.
If you can't measure it, leave it. As a performance marketer, if you can't measure it, just leave it. And also, as a performance marketer, what is the focus is the business goal, right? You have to
Yeah.
ensure that you are working towards the business goal, not just the top of the funnel. Another thing people are always confused about is the fact that business owners don't really know the difference between performance marketing, um, product marketing, and just a paid specialist. Like, what's the difference between them? Are they just buzzwords? Can they be used interchangeably?
Yeah. For me, I think performance marketing is actually tied to actual business goal. I mean, for me, I started like as a media buyer. I started working as like obviously like a community manager. Then curiosity. I moved to basically like general digital marketing. Then and all of a sudden I moved to media buying, and then from media buying I now obviously worked with an agency, and then switched like to the actual performance marketing. One thing I know in terms of how I've moved towards through all of this rank is that performance marketers are much I mean whatever a digital marketer is doing, performance marketer is doing, whatever a performance marketer, media buyer is doing, but the performance marketer is more conscious of how his overall campaign affects like the overall business goal. I would use for the football that I work for. Most of our campaigns, I don't report. So we had 10,000 clicks, because what does click really really mean for the business? Nothing, right? I'm reporting about, okay, we got how many thousand installs. Out of these installs, I'm reporting on install to sign up ratio, sign up to order ratio, and then I'm reporting to return on ad spend, on report on return on ad spend, which basically most digital marketers probably not look at. I was opportunity to join like a team as a consultant as well, and then the person that was there, most of what they are saying, oh, I was like, okay, what's the report on your ads, right? And I'm hearing, oh, we are getting views, what we are getting clicks, we are getting followers, but that doesn't really translate to overall business goal as well. So the difference is that generalized guys don't really really focus on the impact of their campaigns on business, on the bottom line, which is sales, which is revenue, while performance marketers like are really really conscious of how their campaigns affect the overall business goal.
I also understand that performance marketers are more focused on the data, so they are
Yeah.
data-driven marketers. So they make decisions based on data, and they always ensure that it has to tie to the overall goal of the business, most
Yeah.
likely sales and revenue. Another thing I would like to quickly discuss is innovations and new features coming out with some of the device. A good example is iOS. We've gotten the updates that there will be privacy rules with the new iPhone that is coming out. As performance marketer, what does that mean?
How does it impact us in terms of our campaigns? Attribution becomes like a very, very big issue. Before, it was just easy for us to look at the campaigns and see, okay, this particular campaign gave me this, and then we can literally see the customer journey throughout. But now it's becoming really, really hard, especially with the iOS platforms as well. Good thing is that Google also is taking a step back. Good thing is that cookies here, which is also a very good one in the right direction. One thing that has also helped is that I use like MMPs, right? MMPs help me to be able to still track this attribution for all of my campaigns. Using an MMP can help if you're also using UTMs. UTM can also help you as well to be able to track people as they move through, that journey. If you're running web campaigns, the UTM can help you to be able to track people across board. Then AppsFlyer, they can really help you see a bulk of where your campaigns are coming from. They can also help you see attribution for each platform, also creative attribution to be able to also track which creative is giving you. I think those are some of the things that we've put in place to be able to mitigate some of this. Also, more recently, we now have like a device level attribution, which makes it easier for us now be able to track users on what device that actually converted. So those are some of the things that we have put in place to be able to mitigate some of these challenges. So far so good. It's not been 100%, but it's really, really been helpful as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. That's very insightful. If you have a business owner, right, or a startup that has $1,000 monthly budget for their campaign, what would be your advice? How would you advise the business owner or the startup founder on the best way to manage that budget and ensure that the brand gets the best results using that budget?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me would be to be able to test what platform is giving the best of results. I'm not sure $1,000 can do much really, but basically just divide the budget into four tests across platforms. Obviously, this is me assuming that the startup owner, that's the marketing team, have done like their research, understanding what their user audiences are, what platforms those audiences are, and then you can now divide your budget into four places. Use the first 25% to test across board, and make sure all your tracking is top notch, because if not, you just waste money. The pixels, if you're running an app, make sure at least you can use AppsFlyer 18,000 events, that they give you for free. Use that to test to really, really see where the bulk of the results are coming in. When I mean result, I don't mean if you're running app campaign, I don't mean app install, right? I don't even mean registration. I don't even mean sign up. I mean the actual bottom of the funnel event for your business. It could be sales, it could be orders, whatever it is for business. So one other thing that people do is that most times we just use like a one size fits all strategy for every business. So we think, oh, that since sign up works for this one, sign up is going to work for the next one. You need to have like conversation with the business owners, understand what is their main purpose, what are the things that they need to be able to get them from point A to point B, and then what if it means, obviously setting up a custom event, do all of that and then run your campaign, test it. Once you have like a campaign that the channel that gives you a bulk of the result, then you can decide to scale 20% or 25% max, on a 3-day basis, and then scale it from there. If you don't also want to do that, you can decide to duplicate those campaigns and then scale it with a new budget. Hopefully that should be able to help you manage your budgets well, and then also make sure that all of the budgets is giving you what you are looking for as a business owner.
Thank you. Very, very interesting response. First of all, focusing on the budget you have and also understanding the business goal so that when you set up campaigns, you can now optimize towards that goal. And as well, after you start getting results, the results will now determine how you want to like spend or attribute or share the budget across channels. And also will not depend on or determine how you should ask for more budget if there is need for that. The next question I have for you is, what's that common myth or one outdated advice about performance marketing that people probably didn't pay attention to or they don't know about that you would like to clear?
Yeah, I'd probably say that the funnel The funnel that, when we're learning about digital marketing, always acquisition, awareness, acquisition, consideration and conversion. I just feel like the funnel is no longer what it is. A lot is coming up, but it doesn't always have to be, traffic, consideration first. And, so that way, you just know what's working and then where you need to rework and, get your result as fast as possible.
If you have to focus on one thing to improve a performance campaign, what would it be?
I'm just focusing on revenue, return on ad spend, the optimization of the campaign, and that's all. Right? There are also obviously other metrics that are very, very important as well. But then I think your question is limiting, so I'll stick with that.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. It has been a wonderful session, interesting conversation so far, very insightful. Before we round it up, I don't know if anyone has a question.
Yeah, I think
Or
in the
let me,
chat, somebody's asking me
okay.
if I can share a real life example of a campaign that achieved great results. Yeah. So we had like a target of increase sales, increase revenue by 28%, month on month. However you get to do it is none of anybody's business. Just deliver it. I think that's where I started this focusing on revenue. Blah, blah, blah. So what I basically did was to have did the specific audit on on the channels. We're running Meta, we're running Snap, we're running Twitter, and then Google search campaigns, Google app promotion campaigns. But one of the things that was missing there is that the events. So one thing I'm not sure a lot of people also understand is that even if you're running app install campaigns, you need to, the way you're setting up your events um for your website, you also need to set up events for app. And what that means translates to is your SDK for Facebook, the Google SDK is the one you have to like do Firebase. So we did all of that integration, and then the creative as well, worked on the creative. So we literally focused on the creative that talks about just the food of what we're basically doing. We launched that particular campaign. So to put in context, results for sales revenue per day was about at a 1 million naira, um, in terms of sales. We're getting about 150 sign-ups because some of the campaigns were not optimized as much. Once we finished launching the campaign, started out the creatives, we launched all of those campaigns across 4 platforms. In I think in just like a month, we started seeing like revenue increase from that 1 million to about 3 on a daily basis. For a brand that was doing about 30 million per month, we pushed that to about 100 and around 104 million, with just $10,000 ad spend. So I think that was the a real life campaign. So you need to really look at your data. That's like the most important thing now. Keep running campaigns, right? Performance marketers should stop reporting clicks, please. Stop reporting views. I mean, it's a good metric, but for you, it doesn't really mean anything. So report on metrics that really affect the business, and without which the business will die. Yeah.